Vocals, the most important part of any mix, assuming that it has got vocals in it, of course. The human ear will zone in on vocals like no other instrument, so it's crucial to get them sounding as professional as possible. But if you're struggling to get pro sounding vocals in your productions, this video is for you. We're going to unpack some super simple techniques to help you to transform your vocals today. Let's dive straight in. I want to hear from you. If you've got a top vocal tip, or if you're really struggling with vocals right now, let me know in the comments box below. Okay, so first off, forgive me if this sounds obvious, but this one is crucial and I know it gets overlooked way too much, and that's record your vocals well. That doesn't mean to say that you've got to drop a load of money on a microphone or drop a load of money on buying yourself a mic booth or even go and work in a pro studio to get that pro vocal result. It simply means take your time with the timing of the vocal, with the tuning of the vocal, and that the singer, or if that's you, is getting the message of the song across with the right amount of emotion. You want to check that when you play that vocal in the room with somebody else, that you're not cringing or trying to cough over a bit which you're not too happy with. If it doesn't sound great to you, then re-record it. Simply walk away, do it another day. I've done that so many times in sessions. You'd be surprised how much better a vocal can be on just simply another day. It's audio, it doesn't all make sense, it's music. Sometimes you record your vocal and it just doesn't feel right. The next day you come in and it feels absolutely fantastic. So don't be afraid to go and do that on a different day. It's always great to have your best mic set up at the point of writing a song too. That so often is the point where I capture the best vocal, when a song is super fresh in your mind, where the energy is fresh and you're feeling the song. You'd be surprised how many pro recordings have ended up going back and using that first recording, because that's when it captured the feel. Whilst you're there, don't just take one take, but maybe 2, 3, 4 takes, so you can comp in any problems at the same time, so everything's going to fit together super nice. Something that's going to massively help you when you're mixing vocals is having a vocal EQ cheat sheet to hand. Just knowing those zones of the frequency spectrum what you need to dial in when you're working with your vocals. And I have a free one for you. You can grab right now. Just follow the link below this video. When it comes to vocal compression, you can learn so much from engineers from yesteryear, and there's two compressors which I've spoken about in a video a few months ago, the LA2A and the 1176, that are a vocal match made in heaven. I'll leave a card above this video so you can check out that video and how I use those two plugins. But essentially the 1176 is a super fast compression that's going to dig in and smooth out those peaks. The LA2A works more as a vibey, characterful, colourful plugin, smoothing out the overall vocal. Those two compressors stacked together are seriously potent when you're mixing your vocals, and they're incredibly easy to use. So if you're relatively new to mixing vocals but you're struggling to get your compression right, there's a great starting place with those two compressors. That doesn't mean you have to drop a load of money. You can get those emulations for free right now from Analog Obsession. Their Fetish and their Lala are great emulations, means you don't have to drop any bucks at all to get started. When you're starting out, most home studios are going to invest in a relatively inexpensive large diaphragm condenser like this one. And if you're looking anywhere between £50 and £100 in the budget zone, you're often going to find that at the top end they get quite brittle and sizzly compared to more expensive mics. Now the problem can get worse when you're mixing, because you're bringing a high shelf looking for that nice air of the vocal and you're just bringing in more of that brittle sizzliness. So here's a great solution. Reach for your low pass filter and just dial some back. Around 14K, obviously every vocal is different, but around 14K is where you're going to start to feel like you're edging some of that brittleness back. You get the double bonus with that as well, because that's going to give you more clarity and allow some of the other instruments up there and the backing vocals to shine through. Now here's another one that might sound simple, but if you're working with a lead vocal and you're used to reaching for a reverb when you're looking for that depth and space, sometimes you can find that the reverb ends up pushing that main vocal too far back, and that's when reaching for a delay can be much more advantageous. I like to use a quick slap back delay with a little bit of saturation to get that vocal sitting where I want it, but you can experiment even with multiple delays to get that vocal sitting where you want it to be, and then typically reserve your reverbs more for the backing vocal or the overall mix to give the vocals and the mix a sense of space while still keeping that main vocal up front. If you're mixing rock vocals and you're finding that it just hasn't got that energy and aggression and punch to get through the mix, then try a saturation plugin. Kit plugins do a great one for free chord barrier, dial it on a vocal and bring it in. I think of it just like adding in aggression to a vocal. It will give that vocal plenty of rocky grit and energy. If you're mixing the vocal and you're still finding that it sounds weak in the mix, it may well be worth setting up a mic and re-recording your vocal to double it, dropping it subtly underneath in the mix to support that lead vocal, or even recording it twice, panning it around the vocal to help give that vocal some strength and width in the mix. If your vocal's really not sitting in the mix and you just can't work it out, sometimes what I'll reach for is a tape plugin. Sometimes that tapey vibe just helps that vocal just to sit just where you want it. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Don't forget, if you're struggling with vocals, if you're struggling with recording or mixing, or if you've got a top vocal tip, let me know in the comments box below. I want to hear from you. Don't forget to grab that free vocal EQ cheat sheet. And if you want to take your productions to the next level, I've got a free 7-day all-access pass to over 10 hours of home studio tuition. You can grab that right now. You'll also get the keys to the Real Home Studio community and access to exclusive monthly content. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Most importantly, go have yourself a great day. And if you enjoyed this video, you're definitely going to want to check this next one out.